spooky, scary skeletons. It's Chloe in real life, and welcome back to another episode of Halloween Spooktacular. Today I am here with John Murdy.
You know, one thing, I've done Midsummer Scream a whole bunch of times, as long as there's been a convention. Chris and I have spoken at a lot of conventions. We always try to do something new or different, or share an aspect of the event that we haven't shared previously. And there's a maze we're working on this year. It's called Holidays in Hell. And what that maze actually really speaks to is graphic artists and graphic design and artwork. Because the inspiration for this maze actually was vintage postcards. That's where this all started. So what I thought I'd do is I'd showcase the work of one of our artists in particular. He's a guy named Lucas Colshaw. He's a fabulous artist. He's been with us for as long as I can remember. He designs every single character. Whenever you see our character renderings that get released for like the scare zones, that's Lucas. He does all of that. But Lucas is beyond just being able to be a great, costume designer, character designer. He's just a great artist in general. So this is the year we really let Lucas go wild, particularly with Holidays in Hell. If you guys remember, I think this is one of the first mazes we announced. You all familiar with Holidays in Hell? It was a scare zone last year. You guys saw that? It was, such a well-received scare zone that we decided to turn it into a maze. It's basically holidays gone bad. Tons and tons and tons of vintage postcards and using that as inspiration. I started designing this maze just by pulling, particularly like Victorian era greeting cards and postcards freak me out. They're just creepy. Jesus, look at it. And then for the facade of the maze, we knew we were going to be starting with New Year's Eve. And I wanted to design the facade like a big, giant postcard. And I pulled this is actually an old vintage Victorian era kind of postcard. And I thought this was really cool, but I gave it to Lucas and Chris, and they turned it into this. Ooh. So this is actually the facade. Where you see the big circle, that's a video element. We're doing the clock as a video element that changes. And of course we needed giant Easter eggs, and all sorts of bad things are coming out of these Easter eggs. But we wanted that classic tableau, the Easter bunny. And these are all, behind the scenes pictures. None of this stuff's finished. I'm just showing it to you because I don't like it. The screaming child sitting on the lap of the Easter bunny. And then this is when they were like just starting to set it up, and I walked into our offsite facility, and I was like, oh my God, I'm in love. This is great. So of course you're gonna go into this nightmarish Easter bunny, photo op from the 1970s and be attacked by the Easter bunny. Fireworks safety. Of course, that's the first thing that comes to mind when you're thinking about doing a scary 4th of July scene. And again, that classic roadside fireworks stand, that you find out in the middle of nowhere, maybe in the Midwest or somewhere on Route 66. That's the idea here. But they like sell cigarettes and fireworks, which is a really bad combination. So they set fire to everything. Everything's blowing up. It's very patriotic themed. But that meant, I don't know if you realize this, but like I can't just take a product. Like if we're doing a scene with a bunch of fireworks, I just can't take like some fireworks box and put it on the set. Everything under the sun these days is copyrighted, right? So that means our graphics team have to design fake products, and they've been doing this for years. These are their fake fireworks brands that don't really exist, like the Mauler. But again, I just love the fact that these guys are so creative, and what's great about getting to work with so many talented people is they bring to the event all sorts of creativity that we didn't even think of. Show you a couple more. All of the scenes in this maze are kind of set up by these postcards or these graphics. So that's our Halloween one, and one of my personal favorites, Thanksgiving. My favorite character in the whole event last year was Turkey Lurkey. That evil turkey dressed in a pilgrim costume. I just thought that was awesome. So what we did for his scene is it's kind of like that Norman Rockwell Thanksgiving painting, you know, that classic painting of the family all gathered, and there's mom and dad and grandma and, you know, Aunt Susie and etc. And there's grandma. This grandma's dead, Aunt Susie lost her head. We announced the scare zones recently. I don't know, does everybody know we announced our scare zones? Okay. So these are all original this year. I think we only released like one piece of art maybe for each of these. So I thought I'd share some of the artwork we created for these characters. So the opening scare zone for Horror Nights this year is called Fallen Angels with a Z. So Fallen Angels is, well, it's hard to describe. I'm just going to show it to you. It's these skeletal guys that are bejeweled. You know, there's all these jewels all over them. So they're like these ornamented skulls, and they all have these kind of like, almost like biker jacket, angel tattoo, you know, wings embroidered on the back of their costume. But each one of them is different, and I'm only showing you a couple of them. There's a whole bunch of these guys. Of course, they're all armed with chainsaws. And just to give you an example of the amount of work that has to go into what our makeup artists are doing right now, is like after you sculpt the skull and you make the skull, they have to, you know, apply all of these jewels to every one of them. I just brought one. That's just one, and there's a whole bunch of them. So it's just a kind of a totally different look than anything we've done before. We've talked about this for years, and a lot of times people on Twitter, you know, make suggestions, and they say like, you should do something with you know, Asian myths or ghosts or demons. And we've thought about it, we just never done it before. So this year we decided this is going to be the year we actually do this, because there's a wealth of amazing characters, incredible creatures and designs, and we wanted to bring all that to life. So this is kind of the big hub part of the upper deck of the theme park. We call it our New York set area. It's right in front of Universal Plaza. And I'll just show you some of the character designs. These are very costume heavy. So, you know, we have all these costume designers that have to build every single costume that we think of. And they have to, you know, go by the art and figure out the pattern and figure out, you know, how they're going to make it. This is just our Chinese and Mongolian ghost characters. I thought it'd be interesting just to show you, this is like the costumes in progress. So this is the different costumes they're making for this zone. I love this guy, the Samurai Demon. So this is what his makeup sculpt looks like.
Oh wow.
So all of this is really heavily stylized, you know, it's all trying to be authentic to the look of these characters. Another one I like very much is the Dragon Demon character. So then we gave this to Pat McGee and his talented team of makeup artists, and then, you know, one night at midnight or something, my phone lights up and I get this. So these are pretty amazing. They're all kind of like works of art. Here's another thing we've always wanted to do. Always wanted to do this. We've been talking about this for years. We have a lot of stilt walkers that work in our event, and they're, you know, I love stilt walkers. If you put me on those things, I would be dead in 5 minutes. You know, there's no way I could do what they do. They do pirouettes in the street, they jump, and every year I just keep adding more and more, because I just love the impact that they have in the event. For years, our stilt walker captain has been coming up to me and Scott Kleckner, who's in charge of training all of our characters. Kleckner! Wow. Scott has his fan club here today. And Scott, every year Scott's like, let's do four-legged stilts. And we just have never done it before. And this is the year we're doing it. And I haven't told anybody this, so this is all new information. This is a special character we designed for four-legged stilts. So we put them on some of our really, really good stilt guys, and they sent me a video, and I think I was in Ireland at the time, and I got this video and I watched it, and I'm like, we must have this. So, this is his sculpt. He's actually looking out the mouth. That's how his vision is. And this is what Pat and his team is doing right now. So we had that scare zone that was Monster Masquerade that ended the maze. And I just loved the fact that the maze went right into the scare zone. So we created a new scare zone this year that's called Christmas in Hell. And the maze ends with Christmas. Christmas is the last thing that you see in the maze, and then it bleeds over into the scare zone. So the whole scare zone is Christmas themed. That meant that we got to invent new characters like Satan Claus. I didn't realize this, you know. If you just rearrange the letters Santa, it spells Satan. So this is Satan Claus. So then again, we give it to Pat McGee and his team. And you get back. So the Christmas part of the maze is actually like a Christmas tree lot. It just happens to be Satan Claus's Christmas tree lot. And we kind of theme the whole exit of the maze so it kind of blends organically into French Street, and then it picks up. You know, it allows us to bring back some characters that we've done in the past from like Dark Christmas. Do you guys remember Dark Christmas? Yeah, the scare zone we did years ago. It was the first Christmas themed scare zone we did. So some of those evil elf characters, Jack Frost, which is a character, although he's getting a whole new look this year. You know, Mrs. Claus, which we had in Holidays in Hell last year. But also, you know, at the very end of the scare zone, you run into Baby New Year 1929. This is what he looks like. And this is his sculpt in process. And I mentioned, you know, I love stilt walkers. So I wanted to do a nutcracker. I just thought that would be so cool, you know? Yeah. Just a big, evil nutcracker with big, you know, big giant teeth. So this is the sculpt. Oh, sorry. Here's his costume. So again, the costume department, you know, Lucas does a drawing, gives a rendering, and then we give that to our costume department, and then they have to build everything, and that's just the costume in process, and then this is the sculpt. Yeah. Should be fun. I think we should just leave them in the park for Christmas after Halloween. First thing that happens when you walk across the street and after you've gone through Toxic Tunnel is you get to the Metro Set area, and we always started with a scare zone. Last year it was Holidays in Hell, and this year we created a scare zone that is now called All Hallows Evil. I say now called because a guy who works really closely with me and Chris, and has for years and years and years on Horror Nights, and his specialty is always park decor and the scare zones. He's the guy who actually deserves all of the credit for the scare zones. His name is Pat Quinn. He's probably here somewhere tonight. I don't know if he wants to stand up or not. I can embarrass him. Pat, are you in the audience? Patty! Where are you? Somebody point to Pat. All right, there he is. There he is. Give it up for Pat Quinn. We are so lucky. You know, as designers, you know, I know a lot of you guys want to get into this. As someone who started doing this in my parents' garage in 1977, doing a Star Wars unlicensed haunted house, I can't tell you how much it means to Chris and myself and everybody who works on this event. The passion that you fans have for this event is something that none of us could have ever anticipated. It makes us want to do better work, and hopefully we do that for you guys. But most of all, I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
And tell us a little bit about what maze you are most excited for this year at Halloween Horror
Nights. I don't know
that
I have a single maze. I have a lot of mazes I'm excited for. I'm like one of the few people in this world that saw Killer Clowns in the movie theater when it first came out in 1988, I believe. Mm-hmm. So I'm just really excited we get to bring that to life after years and years of our fans asking us to do it. Mm-hmm. I'm thrilled about Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman because that's my passion is classic monsters. I was, you know, so thrilled with the way the maze turned out last year that I'm excited we get to carry on that legacy. Ghostbusters is going to be a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah, everyone's excited for that.
Something you wouldn't necessarily think of off the top of your head should be a maze, but you know, when I really got into designing that maze, I was like, God, there's so much stuff in this movie that we get to bring to life, and hopefully also the humor of it. And you know, and I'm excited about Creepshow because that's a movie that I loved the first time I saw it in the theater. So I don't have like a personal favorite. I'm just really excited about the slate in general.
I'm excited for like the mazes that you've announced so far, and it's going to be really fun.
And there's more.
I haven't really seen Killer Clowns or Creepshow yet. Don't worry, I'm going to. But it is exciting because I want to know what's happening in these mazes, so it gets me to go see these movies and rent these movies and watch them. So that is something that's really cool, is your fans can also experience the movies and then come see them right in the parks. I'm really excited about your new scare zone, All Hallows Evil. Can you tell us a little bit about that too?
Yeah, that came from Pat Quinn, who works with us on scare zones and park decor, and he pitched me this idea about a scare zone that he was calling Samhain, although it's not pronounced, it's the American pronunciation of an Irish word that's pronounced like sound. It's got this really weird pronunciation, which I can't do. But basically his idea was to pay tribute to all of the origins of Halloween way back in the old world, in the pagan days of when it was a harvest festival. So it gave us a chance to bring to life characters that we've never done at the event before, and it has a really creepy aesthetic to it. And it's a cool scare zone. It's got a lot of things we haven't done with that particular Metro scare zone before. It's got projection elements that we've never done down there, and just everything from the Wendigo, even characters that are maybe more Native American characters. We kind of put them into this big cauldron and mixed them all together. It's fun.
That's so cool, and I'm really excited to see what you guys come up with. And then finally, what is your favorite Halloween candy?
I don't have a favorite, but I have a least favorite.
Okay.
I hate candy corn.
Everyone hates candy corn. I like the traditional.
As a kid, if I got candy corn, I would just throw it away.
You see, I have to disagree. I like Twix bars, but candy corn are still up there.
Yeah, can't do it.
Well, be sure to come check out Halloween Horror Nights, September 13th. Hope to see you there. All right, guys, so that was the Universal Studios Hollywood Horror Nights panel. It was so much fun. I am so excited. They announced awesome mazes and some totally cool scare zones that I cannot wait for. The All Hallows Evil scare zone sounds so much fun. They're bringing so many cool characters that I cannot wait to see on the streets. Something I love about the Universal Studios panel is that they really go in depth with their process, all the way from the original ideas to the concept sketches to seeing their costumes and the makeup molds. It's just incredible, and it gets you really, really excited for what you're about to see. And I think it's going to be really fantastic this year. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, comment, don't forget to subscribe. Be sure to hit the notification bell so you're notified every time I upload a spooky video just like this one. I'll see you all next time. Don't forget to stay spooky. Bye!